I saw so many reviews of this show. So many reviews of this show talking about how bad it is. And you know what? I even saw an actual reaction video about about the first episode. And honestly, I was like, okay, maybe I need to watch this for myself before actually commenting on it. I watched this and I want to say this. This show makes She-Hulk look like an Oscar winner. It's really bad. Like, it is deplorable how bad this is. And it's not because of the fact that they use the Scooby Doo franchise to kind of, push this into the stratosphere, even though it's going to tank and just go straight into the dirt and then beyond dirt. I don't think that Mindy Kaling had any intention on using the Scooby Doo franchise to make this show. I don't think that she had any intention on using anything in relation to Scooby Doo. I think that she had the intention on making her own thing. But she wanted to sabotage her own thing in revenge, as revenge to anyone, who forced her to use a franchise she knows nothing about to make a show that she don't want to make. Reminds me of something that happened not that long ago. And I think you guys remember. For those who have watched Matrix, was it Matrix Resurrections? Matrix Resurrections was probably one of the worst Matrix movies I've ever seen. That had the most potential to be great, but arrived way too late. And the Wachowski had nothing to say. And let's be honest, she kind of used that movie in a way to, I guess, to kind of throw a middle finger up to Warner Brothers for forcing her to make a movie she didn't want to make. So she made it so bad to where it's not even memorable. Somehow, I think that Mindy Kaling kind of did the exact same thing. I don't think that her intention was to throw a middle finger up to the Scooby Doo fans, not like the writer of She-Hulk that did that on purpose. I don't think her intention was to humiliate any fans of Scooby Doo. I think that her intention was to throw a middle finger up to HBO for forcing her to make this. Because I don't think she wanted to use that IP. I think she wanted to use, she wanted to be original. She wanted to put her own name on it, her own spin on it, her own adventures, her own, I'm not even going to say that, but because it's been oversaid far too much. She wanted to put her own spin on things, her own beliefs on this show. She didn't want to use Velma at all. She probably doesn't know anything about Scooby Doo. But the fact that Scooby Doo is so well known and has been around for so many years, then it's a franchise, let's be honest, that is really hard to kill. Hence why they did it. But I don't think she had any intention on using it. They try to use the same humor as Rick and Morty, which is a show I'm not really into because, let's be honest, it's kind of a cartoon version of Back to the Future. Except it's not. But I digress. The thing is, I don't think she had any intention on using Velma at all. And it showed. Because none of the dialogue fits the characters at all. And for anybody that says that they didn't grow over time, they really did. If you honestly saw the Scooby Doo movies, especially Zombie Island, which is one of my favorite ones, you can see the growth in all of them. You can see the growth in Daphne. You can see especially Daphne in her career being a reporter and Fred being a cameraman, and somehow, they were together but not being together. There was also a lot of growth in Velma, and there was a lot of growth in Shaggy and Scooby. Everybody kind of evolved because remember, during the whole Scooby Doo era when they were in the cartoon, I think it was in the 60s and 70s, can't remember. But anyhow, they were teenagers around that time. So we actually saw movies where they grew up and they evolved and they got better. Now, the fact that they're making Velma and Daphne bisexual, I don't care. I could care less. These days, they're making it all about gender and all about who you want to be with or who you want to screw at the end of the day. If they want to do that, fine. I don't care. Just make it interesting. Make the character interesting, but make it, in other words, make the character interesting who happens to be. You know what I mean by that. If you happen to be bi or happen to be gay, but you're an interesting character who happens to be gay, I prefer that than just being circled around them just being gay. Because there's only so much you can say about that. But in this case, the fact that she's bisexual, the fact that they did the exact same thing with Daphne, the fact that they made Shaggy black, the fact that they, and I'm calling him Shaggy, I'm not freaking calling him normal. And also the fact that they made Fred into a narcissistic, racist man-child. I don't care about any of that. It really doesn't faze me that much. And I was shocked. I thought I would be enraged. But I'm really not. I'm really not at all. It's just the fact that they made the show so damn boring. The show is so ridiculously boring. It's not even worth your time to be mad. It's that boring. That boring, that bland, that uninteresting. The writing is so piss poor. It's not even worth your time in anger. The only thing that really made me angry is what they did to Shaggy. It's not just the fact that he broke the fourth wall and said, I am not about drugs. He didn't really say that verbatim. But the thing is that for those that don't know, for the running joke, the running gag that is for the Scooby franchise was the fact that it was always an implication that Shaggy smoked weed because he would always eat. He would always be hungry. He would eat these giant meals and keep eating. And plus people like imply that, of course you have a talking dog. So yeah, you have to be high all the time. But then you can also argue that everybody could understand Scooby, even Velma, even Daphne, and even Fred. So that theory has to be debunked. But when it comes to Shaggy, the fact that he was always eating, it was an implication that he was just smoking weed all the time. But it was never proven. It was never confirmed. It was just a running gag. The fact that they did that not only was weird and a bit cringy, it was even worse when they made him a simp for Velma. Velma did everything she could to she went out of her way to humiliate this dude. He practically poured his feelings and his heart out and confessed his love for her. But all she did was laugh and just humiliate him right and left. I'm like, who would like you? Why would anyone like you? Why would anyone want to waste their time with you? I hated Velma for that reason. Seriously, I don't have any redeeming qualities to say, any redeeming thoughts about her character at all. I hate Velma. Velma. I hate Velma for that reason. And she humiliated poor Shaggy. They made Shaggy into a simp, which is sad. The fact they made him a voice of reason, okay, I would have been fine with that. But they made him a freaking simp for Velma. That really pissed me off. Like, no doubt, that really just irritated the crap out of me. That really didn't encourage me to watch the show any further. Not to mention that she was the one that actually got the mystery gang. She's the one that got them all together. And also her mom disappearing was the reason why, with her making a mystery, that's why she don't do mysteries anymore, because she tried to discover why her mom left, which is a very interesting and redeeming angle. It could have been something about her origin story that we knew nothing about. Something very interesting if they wrote it properly. But now they made it canon. It's not interesting anymore. It's just not. Now I know that they're probably going by the Scooby Doo movies because for the longest time they always made implications that she always had a crush on Shaggy and possibly Daphne. But that was just from the movies. That was just like a pipe dream they tried to do. But I digress. This show is bad. It's bad because it's poorly written. There's really no redeeming qualities for Velma. Everybody there is just mean to each other. Like, there's really no connection friendship-wise at all for Fred, Velma, and not even for Shaggy. She treats Shaggy like dirt. Now, I know people are like, well, you have to see like the rest of the series. No, I'm not gonna bother. It's boring. Why should I? I said the exact same thing about Miss Marvel, and Miss Marvel was just boring. This is boring. And the writing is just like they didn't even bother trying. And the meta humor, was it really meta? Like it's like they didn't really try. I don't know if they knew how to be meta, but they tried to be meta and it just didn't work. Now, if people try to make comparisons to Deadpool and She-Hulk, please don't. Please don't. In the comics, they actually did meta right. Ryan Reynolds did meta right when it came to Deadpool. I can't say the exact same thing about She-Hulk, but at least Deadpool did it right. This show makes She-Hulk look like an Oscar winner. This show should not be worth anybody's time because it doesn't look like that they tried to write anything at all. This just exists. It's not even worth being raging over. It's not even worth being angry over. This show is just worthless. I wouldn't even waste your time watching it.